Welcome to New Earth Activations with N.E.M.A. I got a really good positive message yesterday about a tree that wanted me to know that their life has been saved and that they're still here. And I hope that's just more than one tree. I hope that's, if I had my way, it would be all the trees. And hopefully that's the way it will be. Hopefully all the trees that were ever planted in this earth since the beginning of time will suddenly reappear, and everything that was ever planted in this earth that was taken out will suddenly reappear everywhere that it's supposed to be, and not just where just everywhere it's supposed to be. Because New Jersey, they called that the Garden State. Okay, well, where are the gardens? At one time it used to be flowers, pollinators everywhere. And now look at it. So I'd like to see all the flowers and trees for the pollinators to grow everywhere. I'd like to see them everywhere. When you go out in nature and meditate, how do you prefer to meditate? Do you go find a bench and sit on that, or a rock and sit on that? If you've never sat down with your back against a tree, try doing that and meditating in that way and see what happens. And when you approach a tree, being that it can feel just like you can. In fact, all of nature and all the animals can feel just like you can. And they understand more than you realize or know. When you approach them, it's always polite to ask them if it's okay to meditate. I mean, you don't have to do that, but it's always nice to do it because it's showing love and respect for a living being that happens to be your family. All of nature is our family. Excuse me. So, and then thank it for giving you permission to meditate that. I mean, just saying that should bring me joy because And it's always try hugging the tree and saying thank you. And then you can even put your head against the tree just to see what would happen. And place your heart against the tree and see what would happen there. And just spend some quality time with the tree before you go ahead and meditate. And then once you're done meditating, make sure you thank the tree and give it another hug. And remember to say thank you. Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for all that you are doing. And thank you for all that you continue to do. Because the trees do more than you know. Just because you can't see what they do doesn't mean they're not doing anything. They do more than people realize. Nature does more than people realize. And this is why it's important to spend as much time in nature as possible. And if everybody did that, just think how many trees' lives you can save. And nature can finally live in peace without the fear of someone coming to take it or cut it down for some stupid reason. There's no reason to ever cut down a tree. Ever. You can grow hemp for everything and leave the trees alone. And I don't care what you're building, you could make sure that you are respecting the planet, you are respecting nature, and you're not cutting it down. Because if you do that, meditate and find out what happens. See if you're able to receive an answer immediately. And if not, keep meditating on it until you do receive an answer. And then if the flowers speak to you when they're in full bloom and they want to share their beauty with you, do you stop to look and spend time, or do you keep walking? How about when you see the pollinators hard at work for us to have fruits and vegetables, and they pollinate the flowers, the trees, and everything else? Do you stop to say thank you? Do you appreciate them and all they do for us? And have you stopped to think to grow your own pollinator garden for them, to invite them into your yard, to welcome them? Because really, what does a lawnmower do? A lawnmower is just a business that doesn't do the right thing by the planet. When you see a beautiful meadow, leave it. It doesn't need to be manicured. It doesn't need to be mowed down short, because what you're doing is you're taking homes and food sources, not only for the pollinators, but for all the wildlife that lives there. And there should be never an excuse that there is an invasive species there if you see a meadow that's almost as tall as you are, if not taller. The invasive species are the ones paying for it to be cut down. That's the invasive species. The ones that are cutting it down are the invasive species. They're the issue. They're the problem, not the solution. Those people that cut it down should turn around and protect it, I feel. Because those are the ones that never said thank you. Those are the ones that never said thank you to the pollinators for all the food that they have. They're the ones that never thanked the planet for how she sustained them and their entire family. They're the ones that never said thank you to any of nature for all that nature does on a daily basis. And animals don't belong being experimented on. They don't belong in zoos. They don't belong in circuses. They don't belong in tanks. They don't belong in, doing stupid human tricks at a hotel. They belong being free. Free from the invasive species that's trying to fish for it or hunt it for a trophy. Because anyone that does that is not a great role model. You pull a fish out of the water and you hold it over your head. What does that make you look like? You're certainly not a hero, certainly not a great role model, certainly not a great example. You're pulling a living being out of the water, and for what? Now, if you went to take a picture of that and then show people, that's completely different. But to take him out of the water and he loses his life because of you, that's no hero. And if you find that you have a problem with what I'm saying, meditate on it. See what happens about anything I've said about nature. Does it raise your vibration to eat anything from the sea, from the ocean? Does it raise your vibration to eat any animals whatsoever? And when you do eat fruits and vegetables, how do you approach that to ask it if you can have one? How do you treat it? How do you speak to it? And do you say thank you when you receive it? Because they can all feel just like we can. They're alive. They live. And they speak in ways that people don't. If you put I think it's a synthesizer up to a leaf of a tree, of a flower, of a mushroom, of anything that grows out of nature, it plays music. It'll speak to you on a level that your heart understands. And they're all here for a reason, and no one has a right to take them until there's, an endangered species list. That's certainly not okay. But I care for nature, and I use my voice to speak out for them every chance I get. For the trees, for nature, for the animals. And for people, they have to use their free will and make the conscious choice of choosing what serves their highest and best. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're free. And if you've never done any spiritual work ever in your life, or have not looked into any of it, or you say, oh, you've tried that but it didn't work, try again. Keep going until you do succeed. Because the reason why it didn't work is because there is something preventing you from going forward and understanding and knowing what is holding you back from spirituality. And don't stop until you find out. Because there are powers that be that don't want you to choose the spiritual path. They want you to keep your vibration low. They want you to stay where you're at so they can control you. If everyone on the face of this earth meditated, it'd be a different world. And if you're really serious and you want to know more, do you really think going to a college is going to teach you? I mean, it may teach you some things because you're in the world and of the world, but it's, you've heard many times, it's not the material world that you should be making a priority if you have never done any spiritual work. If you're really serious and you really feel the heart call and you've received the clarion call, then I highly recommend to read the book The True You by Erica Locke. I highly suggest doing those sessions because it's imperative that you do. Do not let the mind tell you otherwise. Do not let the mind stop you and make excuses as to why you can't read the book or why you shouldn't do the sessions. Pay no attention to what your mind tells you. Listen to your heart. Because you're not free if you can't still the mind. You're being controlled in unknown ways. Now, that's probably too much information, but you'll understand if you stay on top of it. And I highly recommend the Forgiveness Prayers by Howard Wills. And meditate on that. I wouldn't say these things if I hadn't been through it myself. And I never went to college. I never had the good fortune of going to college. I have a high school diploma. But nothing in college ever called to me. I mean, a couple of things did, like dermatology, becoming a lawyer. But what really spoke to me was, I was doing things musically, but not enough to really take it seriously. And then I liked movement a lot, which was all different styles of dance, gymnastics and all that. But it couldn't do that either because of the money. But this is really important. What I did do was, when I kept hearing, I was always attracted to metaphysics and spirituality. I kept hearing the drum louder and louder and louder and louder. And if you keep going, you'll thank me one day for receiving this information. And if you have any comments or questions, you can send me an email or put it in the description box below. My email is reinadhabsburg@gmail.com. If you'd like me to do an energy reading, send me a picture. Please like, share, and subscribe. The more people this gets out to, and the more people that meditate and go within, the better. I like to see everyone on the face of this earth meditating and doing this, to be honest. Because you'll never know what you don't know if you don't choose this. If you'd like to register for a group or a personal session, you can reach me the same way. And when I do these meditations, activations, I didn't do one yet. I was just sharing with you what I received yesterday, and I was really happy about it. Stay on top of these sessions, do them 3 to 7 times a day, which I highly recommend. And come with an open heart and an open mind. Leave the judgments, the criticism, the sarcasm, the negativity at the door. Just come here like you know absolutely nothing, like you're brand new. Discard every belief you have and everything that you were taught growing up. Just come like you're brand new, and then you'll be able to receive and understand more. Because I notice some people like to be sarcastic or make fun. By doing that, they're blocking themselves from being able to receive. It's not meant to be understood by the mind. It's meant to be understood by the heart. And I've said that over and over again too. So before I leave, I just want to say a little prayer that my guide has shared with me. We love and bless all humanity, and we love and bless all creations. And I will see you next time.